Hey everybody! Oh shoot, I just smacked my mic. Hey everybody, welcome to the second episode of the KenCast. This is this is a very late um, episode of the KenCast. I'm currently recording this at 11 o'clock at night on a Friday because why not, right? I was planning to do this, I guess anytime, anytime sooner than this, but yeah, I guess we're here now because I'm lazy. But the first episode we'll call a success. Sure. Ow. Ow. The mic is very loud and I just had a notification pop up. Ow. Okay, anyway, I am currently ecstatic right now. I don't know why. No, wait, I do know why. I've been watching Bob Ross. Yes, Bob Ross. Let's see. His YouTube channel. I'm watching Bob Ross on his YouTube channel. And oh my gosh, I am just in serene peace when I watch this man. Just seeing him conjure these beautiful, beautiful landscapes and say in such a beautiful, calming voice. It's like, oh, I used to fall asleep to this. And I did at one point. It was junior year, I think. About around third quarter, I discovered Bob Ross. And by that I mean I actually discovered who Bob Ross was, and then I started looking at his videos on YouTube. And again, the same feeling. It was just serene bliss. And sometimes I'd put it up at night, I'd put a video, I'd listen to it, and I'd fall asleep to it. Right? And it is the best thing in the world. It's somewhat similar to this in the fact that it's just kind of quiet, monotonous talking, which if you're watching it, right, you get it and you just appreciate what he's done, right? But if you're sleeping, you can just, his voice, oh my gosh, his voice, it's like golden butter. Oh my god, it's so good. But I realize that in my life, right, I am happy because of the small things, okay? Like for instance, kind of depressing, a teacher or a person at college track or any sort of wellness mentor would be like, hey, think about the happiest time in your life. And I think I'm sitting there, right? I'm thinking, I have no idea what the happiest time in my life is. And I'm certain some of you have this as well. And this is, well, kind of sad, right? But then for me, right, I don't have a happiest time because I've had a lot of small happy things happen to me. A lot of ridiculous small happy things happen to me. It's just like as I go on through life, I remember, right, the big things, right, going on a cruise, right, with my family, celebrating a birthday. Not really. My birthdays were weird, but going on the cruise specifically, right, that was a big thing. I went with my cousins. I went with all my other cousins because Asian people. That's racist. But it's true. I went to, and it was like the most fun thing I've ever done. And stop with these notifications, they hurt. But it was so much fun. And I remember the honest thing is I remember on the trip, the best I remember is our waiter. I don't know why, but Asian people are awesome. This waiter, he knew all like the tricks. And as like a, 8, 9, 10-year-old, 2013 maybe, 2012, that's 5 years ago, so like 11, 12, something like that, right? He was like, okay, one of the best things was, okay, how many of you guys think you can lift this thing, what's it, wine glass, I guess it's called, right, with the one straw? And I'm like, I have no idea. And the first thing you think of, well, let's try to put the straw under and balance it, right? It's like, no, but using your hands at that point, it's like, let's try to tip it over and balance it. And I thought, with the straw, it doesn't really work like that, right? It's kind of tough. Now I think about it, there's probably another way of doing it, right? But what he did, right, was that he came back in about 5 minutes and everyone was stumped. Like the entire family was completely stumped, right? He comes back, he says, did you get it? And it's like, no, I didn't get it. And he picks up the straw and he bends the straw, right? He bends it just enough to fit, give or take, the width of the wine glass, right? You know how the wine glass is sort of concave in, right? He bends the straw inside and then lifts the straw until it reaches the lip of the wine glass, and then it catches on. I'm like, wait a second. And he slowly lifts it, and the lip of that wine glass holds on to the straw, and the structural integrity of the straw is just strong enough to where I can lift the wine glass. And he did it. He showed me how to lift the wine glass with the straw. I'm like, what? This man's a wizard. This man has to be a wizard. This is insane. And so those are the things I remember, right? Small things. No, not like, the day I got my dog, right? Or something like that, right? Nothing like that. I mean, I guess it's on the same scale, so I can't really say anything. But I'll tell you one of the small happy times, right? All the exploits I do as a person, okay? Now, if you know me, right, you should know that I'm a very calm person when it comes to doing things, right? I don't like to go out of my way to do anything, right? My cousin invited me to go to a haunted house this weekend, and I'm here. I'm like, sure, right? And that's the most daring I'm gonna be. I really don't do scary like at all, right? But they wanted me to go, so I'm like, okay, I'll go. My brother, he says no. I'm like, fine, makes sense. I would be you if I could, but I'm going. Why? I have no idea why I'm going. I have no idea why I'm going, but I go. That's like up there in some of the most ridiculous things I'll ever do, right? Next to whatever stuff we do in the tennis team, but that's not entirely my decision because I'm dragged into it. Right now, as a child though, I'm completely different. I was completely different because the backyard. Oh my god, I spent my entire childhood in my backyard. I didn't know a single neighbor. I didn't know a single neighbor. I spent all my time in my backyard with my brother and Stephen Ty, who my family was babysitting at the time, right? There, we were like mad scientists. We did some really, really questionable things. As we got older, we did some really, really questionable things. Now, I hope my family doesn't get this because I'm about to exploit the shit out of my brother. Oh, I was about to exploit the poop out of my brother, Steven, and me, okay? We got this new pair of binoculars, okay? Very cool binoculars. They were like $90, okay? I was like, what, 4th grade at this point, right? I'm like, okay, these are cool, right? But I have no idea how to use them because I'm an idiot, right? I have no idea how to use binoculars. I'm like a bratty child at this point, right? And I'm like, okay, how do I? And I just stick my eyes to it. I've seen some video games and stuff like that. I know I stick my eyes to it, right? But everything was blurry. I'm like, I have no idea how this works, right? My brother and Steven tuned it so that we could see, right? And we messed around with it for a little bit, right? We were literally just looking at things. It's like, wow, look at this detail. Let's look at something else. And then that's literally it. We stare at something for about maybe 5-10 seconds. Here, take this, look at that. They look at it for another 5-10 seconds and pass it on, and then another one will look at us for like 5-10 seconds. We put it down, then we put it back up and look at something else, and then we change. We did it for like a week. We knew how to entertain ourselves. But when we didn't know how to we knew how to entertain ourselves, right? Because we always knew what to do next. Because we never had a plan. We just did whatever we did the first thing that came to our mind, right? One day, we found a long plastic pole. You know those things you twist on your blinds and they change the sort of angle of your blinds to block in the sun or let out the sun? Well, we found one of those that was like give or take 5-6 feet long, right? And this thing was elastic, okay? This thing was so elastic to the point where we bend it and we let go, it would fly, okay? Like, let's say if we bend it like 180 degrees, right? So the two tips are pointed near each other or pointing in the same direction, right? That's not 180 degrees. That's 90 degrees. I'm tired. Anyway, we bend them, right? And if we let that go, we'd fly and give or take 10 feet with a staggering amount of force because it would just flip-flop in the air and then land give or take 10 feet away simply due to momentum. We didn't have to push or anything. It would fly with its own insert random science term that I don't know because I'm clearly not AP Physics. Anyway, we were like, okay, let's try to do that with the with the pair of binoculars, right? And so I'm like, all right, I'll take the pair of binoculars. And so I try to look for it, right? And we all stood on the same side. And my brother grabs it and he flings it, and I couldn't see it. I'm like, I can't get it. I can't get a good picture of it, right? It's like, okay, you go on the other side, go sit on the playground. We had a small set, right? Go sit over there. I'll fling it to you. Okay? Okay? This thing, all right, I'll fling it to you, okay? I'm here. I'm like 8 years old, all right? I'm not even in middle school yet, right? And I'm sitting here, I'm sitting with my binoculars, right? Sitting down next to a wooden fence behind me, right? And I'm just chilling, right? I'm just chilling looking at it, right? Trying to see it. And I'm like, they say, are you ready? From like across this, give or take 30, 40 feet, right? Maybe, yeah, around 30, 40 feet. Maybe, I think I'm, yeah, 30, 40 feet, right? And I'm like, I'm ready. And I pull my binoculars, right? And I see my brother. He bends it past to where they're like, he pretty much makes a loop out of this thing. I'm like, I didn't know I could do that, right? And it sends it flying, and I'm here like, I see it, and I see him like go, and I just lose track of it. I'm like, it just was gone. I'm like, where'd it go, right? I hear something behind me like a thunk, right? And then I hear my brother and Steven laughing, almost like, they're like, oh my gosh, right? Because we didn't say God back then, because we were innocent. And they're like, oh my gosh, Kenny, you okay? I'm like, what? I'm like, Kenny, you okay? I'm like, yeah, I didn't see anything. Did you guys through it? I was like, yeah, it zoomed past you. Look behind you, right? And this plastic pole, right, had like made a dent in the wood behind me. I'm not sure if it made a hole. I don't remember. I want to say it did, right? But like it had made like a huge, like a big dent. I want to say at least, right? In the fence behind me, like another couple feet behind me. And I'm sitting right there, right? And I realized they just launched this thing right next to me, right? I could have got hit by that. There was no way my brother could have aimed that. And I was directly in front of him. I could have died. I could have died. Like, that's the stuff I did normally as a child, right? And the thing is, all over there, we didn't tell anyone, right? Because, of course, we're kids, right? We don't want to get in trouble, right? But I think all of my wild exploits went away before that. I mean, we were playing with should I say this? Okay, so other than the backyard, we've done some other stupid stuff. I'm thinking about whether or not I should actually say this. It's one of our lighter exploits. Around 3rd grade, 2nd grade, I discovered what a lighter was. My brother discovered what a lighter was, and then he found out what WD-40 was. You see where this is going. We were in a garage, was where we went to play with things when it was too hot outside, right? So go in the garage, and of course we get a lighter, right? We find a lighter because our parents smoked and they put it in the garage, right? We'd search for it, we'd find it, right? And my brother would go online and he'd look at stuff. He was like a sage to me. He knew everything, and in a sense, he actually does still. Extremely smart guy, because, well, now it's more so the fact that he gives his own opinion, and I agree with it because it makes sense, right? But back then, he pretty much knew everything, right? Any question I asked, he seemed to know, so I kind of built that relationship with him where it's like he's a really smart one, and I was the dumb one. And it kind of stayed that way, not gonna lie. But he figured out that you can actually take WD-40, right, and you put fire to it, it burns. And we're like, that's cool. And we asked our dad, do you have WD-40, right? And he says, why? You know, like, any parent was like, we want to mess with it. And he's like, no, you kids are idiots. I'm like, fair enough, right? But there were other ways of getting this WD-40. We just looked for it because there were 3 of us. And we just wanted to look for it, right? So one day we found it, and we're like, all right, we gotta find the lighter. And so we scratched for the lighter as well. And we knew what the lighter was because we found the lighter first, right? We got the lighter. And, you know, we'd get the lighter, and we get the WD-40 because I'm a wuss, right? I call myself. I'm a wuss. And I still am. I admit, I still am. I still am a scaredy pants, right? So I would never do it first, right? But one of those two grabbed it, put it up with a lighter, right? And shot it. And give or take 10 feet of flame in this dark, no light in this, in this garage, right? We turn off lights, and then we just, and you see this just 10 foot long, just gust of flame. It's like, wow, that's so cool. Do it again. It's like, no, do it again. And we just did that, right? And of course, we knew we'd probably get in trouble for this, right? So every single time one of us did it, right, the other two would be holding the door or listening to the door. And so as much as we were freaking out, right, we're like, oh my god, that's so cool. We were like, oh, we put our ear to the door. And we were like, someone's coming. And I'd hold onto the door, right? And Ryan would put the WD-40 back, and Steven would hold on the lighter, put it in his pocket. I'm surprised he didn't burn himself. But put it in his pocket. And it's like, what are you kids doing? It's like, oh, we're just having fun on the thing. Yeah. You know, we were not the smoothest kids. But yeah. We went even further with this. We tried every single gas-based thing in there. And the thing is, now think about it. That's, of course, 10-year-old kids playing with a flamethrower. Probably not a good idea, right? Probably not a good idea. I don't know what makes you, what indicates that, but I'd say that's probably not a good idea, right? But we kept trying with other things. There was WD-40, of course, but of course there was also Febreze. I don't know if Febreze back then, but some form of air freshener. And then, WD-40 was a straight shoot, right? This is how much we experimented. WD-40 was longer, right? Febreze was sort of like was shorter range, but it was more like a big gas cloud, right? And, we tried everything in between too, and we sort of cataloged this. I remember it to a degree, even now, right? Oh, I did some really stupid. I don't know where I stopped. I don't know when I stopped. I think it might have been freshman year. I think that's when I stopped, right? But where I stopped, other people kept going. Other people took things a little too far, right? His real name was Edward, but we'll call him Jones for short, right? Just to make sure his name isn't revealed and that he doesn't get blasted by some people at Ranger, right? So Edward and his friends, right? Or Jones and his friends, right? Were going... how can I say this? They don't like to do things legally, and one time they were stoned, right? They were just a little bit too much of a certain chemical, okay? And I learned about this recently, okay? Relatively recently, right? Jones told me, okay? Relatively recently, right? And he and his friends were just like, going in the park, doing their thing, right? Kind of under the influence, right? I don't really think I tell the story, but anyway, it's fine. You don't know his real name, right? Let's say he and his friends are going to a lake, right? And they see these baby ducks, right, swimming in the lake along with the mother duck, right? And baby ducks are adorable little creatures, right? Like the first thing you want to do when you see baby duck is you say "aw" and you want to pick it up and cuddle with it, right? That's the first thing you do, right? These people, my friends, admittedly, under the influence, were like, hey, I'm so conflicted about whether to tell the story, but you don't know his real name, so it's fine. One of his friends tried to throw a rock, right, to, scare the mother bird, right? So he throws a rock, right? And, it hits next to the water and scares the mother bird, and the mother bird tries to swim away, right? But then another one of his friends, takes another shot, right? I really don't feel good about this. But he throws the rock, and it nails one of the baby birds directly. See that? I've been told life is created of the small things, right? But it's at that point where I think you've gone a little too far. See, that could have been me, though. That could have been me. Think about this, right? I've done some really stupid stuff, right? I could have been doing that. I almost got myself killed a multitude of times. This is pretty much like it's just a monologue of me when I was young now. There was a big rock in my backyard, right? And for some reason, I was bored. I'd get a hammer and just start smacking the rock, right? Just dropping the hammer on it, right? But what you know is that when you smack something, right, and it chips, right? Those chips could be flying at insane speeds with, the with the jutted angle really, really sharp, right? It's a really sharp jutted angle. I don't know if that's the right term I'm using, but nonetheless, it's a very sharp angle, right? It's similar to forging. If you forge something incorrectly, if you temper incorrectly, as in if you harden the steel incorrectly, right, and you try to smack the steel with the hammer, right, chips can fly off and embed themselves in people and get them killed. I was smacking this rock, which is equivalently to the same thing, because I'm just getting a steel hammer and just smacking the rock, right? And the rock is one of the most brutal things in the world. I'm surprised I didn't get hurt by that too. There's so many things. I've done so many stupid things when I was young. Could have caused me to be a little to maybe be on the point of, hey, did you drop yours? Did someone drop you on your head as a child? Right? It's along those lines at this point. I might as well just keep going with this because this is kind of fun. I'm like reminiscing about nostalgic things, right? I might as well tell you another one. Let's see. Bee nest. We had a bee nest in our balcony, and by I mean bee nest, I mean like 4 nests. Somewhere there were a lot of bees. It lined the entirety of the balcony. There were a lot of bees, and of course, we're like, all right, guys, we can't play outside because we're all scared of bees, right? Let's do something about it. And no, we did not take WD-40 to it, right? We're not that stupid. We're not setting our house on fire. We almost resorted to that, but we're not cutting our house on fire, right? The only reason is because the balcony was fully in range of all the adults, so we never tried it. Probably. But we're like, okay, we have to find a way to get rid of these bees. They've done nothing wrong. They don't even bother us while we play, but we have to get rid of them because we're scared. Right? I probably said that. And I justified the others because I called them scared too, and they were like, fine, we'll do it, right? Oh my gosh. Can you imagine 3 kids, right? One's holding a hose, right, that he dragged from the front of his house, and he's like, chugging it across his garage, right? And he pulls it up to his balcony. He's like, what does this kid do, right? And then the next kid comes behind him, right? And he's got, he's got a Febreze and some other. He's got 2 air fresheners in his hand, right? He's like ready to go, right? He's like, okay, I got you. I'll cover you, right? And he's holding like a gun. And it's like, what are these spec ops kids doing? And then you see the 3rd kid, right? The smallest one. Me, I'm coming in. I got my dual fly swatters. I'm like, yeah, I'm so ready. Let's do this. And, oh my god. I'm like, yeah, let's do this. I'm coming in with my dual fly swatters. I'm swinging wildly. I'm like, yeah, I'm nowhere close to reaching the balcony because it's like 10 feet tall. I'm like 4 feet tall. I'm like, yeah, let's do this, right? And so began our crusade to eliminate the bees. The bees. It was not successful, not at all, because as much as we shot water up, right? The moment Ryan, we should this, right? Before we decided to do that, right? Before you picture us about to spray this beehive with all the firepower 3 middle schoolers / elementary schools could handle, right? First realize that we're already scared, right? And so none of us, especially me with the close range weaponry, want to take the first step, right? Because if you anger one, you anger every one of them. We knew that. And so Ryan had the longest range weapon. And so we said, you have to start it, right? But Ryan, just like all of us, is rightfully scared because we're looking and we see a balcony just lined with, well, we already see 50 bees and other bees just flying around, right? 50 bees on the balcony itself, another maybe 20, 30 flying around, right? We're like, this is not a good idea, right? And so before we actually started doing that, we had to plan it out, right? We were like strategic, we were like generals, right? We were like, all right, we got to plan this attack, right? If this goes wrong, what can we do, right? And so that's why we had the 3-step plan, right? Ron will be the one with the hose, right? He'd blast it into the middle of it, right? He'd be the main attacking force. Steven would cover Ryan and get his flanks, right? And if they ever got onto us, last resort, I'd smack them in the face. I mean, I'd smack the bees off their body, right? Right? So that's what we did. But if they overwhelmed us, right, we would run back to the garage, because for some reason, I don't know why, for some reason, wasps, any flying insect never followed us into the garage. Maybe it was pitch black. We had no idea. But we're like, okay, let's do that, right? And so here we are, prepped and ready. And it would take 15 minutes, 30 minutes to hype up my brother to actually like, you know, use the use the hose, use the water hose. And because we were all scared, we also switched. And we would attack every couple of days. We would attack in the hive, right? We'd spray it, they'd go away, and then we'd be like, mission accomplished, guys. And we'd play for a little bit, do whatever. Plastic Army Man. What did we do? Dig a hole. We just dug like a meter deep hole for some reason. I don't think we ever tried to bury anyone. We just looked for treasure, maybe? I don't know. But then they come back. And we're like, how are they coming back? And so we each time we got a little more confidence, right? But they kept coming back for some reason. We had no idea why. And at one point we just stopped doing it because they stopped caring. Right? But what eliminated them was not our crusade, right? Not our quest to, eliminate them, right? With our vastly superior technology and wit, right? Clearly, it was just the weather. It was turning winter, and and they just kind of went away. So, and honestly, it was a successful mission, right? Success. We got him, boys. We got him. What do we? Yeah, they came back the next year, so I don't know where they've gone. Maybe we rotted the wood too much, so they can't come back this year. No, shooting water into your balcony isn't really the best thing to do. Oh, that's probably why there's a hole in my. That explains a lot. Okay, so I just had an epiphany, right? A year ago, we had bees in my grandma's house because there was a hole in the. See how this goes? There's a hole in near the window, right? And it's like, and wasps started flowing in. We're like, what is happening, right? And I'm thinking, if that eroded away, right? We have to. I just realized this now. We have to be somehow partly responsible for that erosion. We fixed it by just stapling another piece of wood over it. Mission accomplished, right? So yeah, that was just childhood of Kenny. And some future stuff, right? But yeah, I guess in that regard, to all those people, I don't even know if they're out there, to those people who can't think of, that one perfect moment in your life. If you can, kudos to you, right? Doing good stuff. But if you can't, or if you can, I don't see why not, right? How I am happy, how I determine whether or not I'm happy is by all the little things I have done. All the ridiculous, stupid, possibly self-harming, possibly life-ending things I've done, right? And reminiscing about those so that you never do them again. Because, oh my gosh, why did I do that? Why did I think that was a good idea? Anyway, thanks for listening to the KenCast. I did go off on a few curse words here. I apologize. But yeah, thanks for listening to the KenCast. I'll see you guys soon.